Hello, everyone. I'm going to get straight to how the day went. Okay, so I woke up at 6 in the morning. I was originally planning on donating my blood plasma today, but I basically just went back to sleep again after drinking some water. I was really tired. So I went back to sleep, and when I got up at around 8:30, I greeted my mom, who was up, and she wanted to have a discussion with me. So we talked. It's a pretty good conversation. And then I and then she wanted to go on a hour-long walk. So I agreed. So I put on my changed my pajamas to my pants, put on my socks and shoes, and went off. We went on a walk that lasted a good hour with a little break in between to use the restroom. And yeah, the weird thing was I turned on the timer when we left the second time, but it didn't go off, and we didn't really know if it was on. And I checked, and no, it wasn't on. So yeah, really odd. Eventually, we returned home, um, and when we got home, our family friend was there. Our family friend called us earlier on our walk asking if we needed anything from the store. The only thing I could think of was big tortillas, so I made that suggestion. She did get the big tortillas and also was making chili. And on top of that, she, my mom decided to make some beans for bean burritos with the freshly made tortillas that were recently bought. So we had the bean and cheese burritos, which were very good. My mom knocked it out of the park. They were delicious. And then my mom made the suggestion of watching the Y Files episode on a like this virus, this Trojan horse virus that was sent to stop Iranian nuclear facilities back in like the early 2010s. It was pretty informative, and highly likely that the hack was probably designed by the U.S. and maybe the U.S.'s allies. Really interesting. We then, my sister was up, and she was interested in seeing an episode for Y Files that talked about EMP attacks. We found one for what would happen if the sun's electromagnetic sphere seriously harmed the Earth with what is known as a Carrington event. The good thing about Carrington events is that they're extremely rare. There are times when they have the potential of being devastating, but it's a really low percentage, like less than 4%. Still worth keeping in mind, though. Um, yeah, and basically, our way of life and modern civilization would be knocked back to the 1800s if the Carrington event were to happen. Online banks would be shut down. All manner of currency would go kaput. Martial law would be instated, and we'd pretty much be stuck in a really long fix-it moment for a good, like, I'd say probably decade, or maybe even longer. It would probably take a while to get the infrastructure back up and running again. And during that time, there would probably be a lot of civil unrest and annoyance. So, yeah, pretty interesting. After that, me and my sister had a long conversation about AI, which was interesting. Then I decided to go into my room and work on my brain jam for 25 minutes, 25 instead of 30 because I was running low on time to get ready for work. I was able to draw some more cans in the aisle of the location that I will be working with this scene, so that's good. And after that, I got dressed and I said goodbye to my mom and sister, told them that I loved them, and then I left for work. Now, I've when I eventually arrived at work, um, I punched in and I greeted all my coworkers and I checked the schedule and surprise, surprise, sweeps for the whole day. So yeah, I helped bag a little bit at the start of the day, but then I just immediately got started on sweeping the the produce area. And then when I went back to do the store floor, there was a big mess that happened. A bottle of vodka had broken in the back room, and there was some spill magic, which is a type of substance that you pour on fluid that absorbs the fluid and is able to be swept away using a broom and a dustpan and throw it in the trash. So I decided to take the reins after the initial problem was dealt with and basically try to contain it, and I did manage to contain it. Did a pretty good job, I'd say. I then swept the store floor and the break room, and of course, I punched in all my sweeps. I went on my first 10-minute break where I decided to go upstairs and do some breathing exercises, which was nice. When I went downstairs and got back to work, I just continued doing my sweeping duties. Um, and punching in my sweeps on time before eventually going to lunch, where I had my last sub sandwich slice. Chips. I found out actually that if I had 15 chips a day, I would have had equal amount of chips throughout the entire week. But because I used my calculator and it said like 17 chips, turns out that yeah, my last batch of chips was only like 7 chips. So that was a bit annoying. Well, I had the chips, I had the last slice of the sub sandwich, and I had an A&W Zero Sugar, and I was watching the Jesse Michaels video where he was talking with a NASA chief officer on a new kind of propulsion technology. It was pretty interesting looking at the results and all, but so much science that like I'm honestly too tired to talk about right now, so I'm just gonna move on. um, I punched back in. I got started on my closing chores, took out the trashes, brought in the bags, wiped down all the check stands, closed the produce blinds, had some interesting and fun conversations with my uh, coworkers. Um, from the singularity for AI to some funny ideas, things like that. Um, oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm really tired. Okay. Anyways, afterwards, I punched out. I drove back home. I was greeted by my mom. She told me there was some spaghetti made. I reheated the spaghetti. I ate it while continuing to watch the Jesse Michaels video while drinking a bit of my A&W Zero Sugar, the last one I had left over. Only half of it. And then I Washed my bowl, went to the restroom. Then I ended up grinding up 2 oranges in the blender, drank that. Had Oh yeah, I also had like this candy called Mr. Ripley's. It was pretty interesting. Too sugary, made me feel kind of weird, and after eating it, not gonna lie, probably not gonna eat that again. Um, Took my vitamins, brushed my teeth, did some mouthwash, and now I'm recording this. So that's pretty much the day. All right, I'm gonna go to bed now. Take care, everybody, and have yourself a good night. Bye.